by the Ministry of Finance following his complaint from URA to come up with regulations to enable taxation of gold, of levy on gold. This is the letter written by URA, and I'll painfully read the same verbatim. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry, let me begin with the one of Minister. The Honorable Minister, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Kampala. I'm in receipt of a letter from URA dated 30th November 2023 from the Commissioner General URA, copy attached on the above subject matter, which is challenges encountered in collection of export levy on gold and determination of purity levels for gold exports. We note with concern the challenges that Uganda Revenue Authority has encountered in the collection of revenue from gold. The challenges majorly emanate from lapses that have undermined the implementation of the law and the inadequacy of the law with respect to defining permissible purity levels of gold intended for export. This state of affairs has dampened the revenue prospects and projected in the budget for financial year 2023-24, and thus has the potential effect of undermining the financing of key priorities in the budget. The purpose of this letter is to bring the above matter to your attention and also request you to expeditiously resolve the lapses that have occasioned the challenges under reference, albeit being cognizant of any court decisions on the matter. Signed, Matia Kasaija, MP, Minister of Finance and Economic Development. There is a second letter which was attached now to that one. It's long, but we are here for it. PSST, Minister of Finance and Economic Planning. Challenges encountered in collection of export levy on gold and determination of purity levels for export. It is now from URA. Reference is made to the above subject matter and recent policy changes and engagements concerning taxation of the gold sector. We address you as under. A. Mining Amendment Act 2021 imposed an export levy on processed gold at the rate of 5% of the value of a kilogram of gold, which is exported out of Uganda, and the 10% of value of the unprocessed minerals, which is exported out of Uganda. Copy of the amendment is attached. B. Consequently, the private sector players raised concerns about the new rate and requested the government to halt implementation of the law. Subsequently, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, through a letter dated the 11th August 2021, advised Uganda Revenue Authority to enter into a temporary arrangement with the exporters to export their gold without payment of levy until the amendment of the law, which would be applied retrospectively. Honorable members, you need to note and keep this in mind. Following the guidance from the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, an interim measure that allowed the provisional release of gold against requirements to deposit or post provisional release of gold against requirement to deposit post-dated checks computed at 5% of the value processed gold was instituted by URA pending further guidance from the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. The aforesaid prerequisite was strictly adhered to after physical examination of the gold export to confirm the volumes of gold, and the gold would be released thereafter. The Mining and Minerals Act 2022 was enacted in 2022 and came into force on the date of publication in the Gazette, except for Section 287S relating to levies applicable for exports of minerals, which was deemed to have come into force on 1st July 2021. This exception was meant to enable government collect the gold export levy arrears for the period commencing 1st July 21, when the Mining Amendment Act 21 was enacted but could not be enforced. Extract of the above provision are attached for ease of reference. On 1st March 23, the Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development issued the Mining and Minerals Export Levy on Refined Gold Regulations 23, Statutory Instrument number 22 of 23. The regulations imposing an export levy on processed gold export out of Uganda at the rate of USD 200 per kilogram, 200 USD per kilogram. Copy of the regulation attached. URA Customs Systems SCUDA was eventually configured on Monday, 7th March 23 to enable capturing of declarations. On 7th March 23, URA received a communication from the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development requesting URA to halt the implementation of the statutory instrument until further guidance is provided. This equally is of interest. I will repeat. On 7th March 2023, URA received a communication from the Honorable Minister of Energy and Mineral Development requesting URA to halt the implementation of the statutory instrument until further guidance is provided. Okay? Between March 4th, 23 and June 30th, 23, URA collected 5.885 billion in revenue from gold exports against the projected collection of, Mr. Musinguzi, can you help me because mine is now tampered with by the stamp, or a projected collection of how much billion? Where they placed the stamp is where the figure is. I think I notice it is it 10.6 billion or 106?
Concede.
Commissioner Castro.
Commissioner Castro.
Thank you, Chair. At 5%, it was 632.
632
Yes.
billion. Okay, billion.
Yes, at
2 billion. So they collected 5.885 against 632 billion.
we want to collect that.
Yes.
According to the letter, it is 10.362 billion. 10.3632 billion.
Okay, that's good. The under collection, let me finish this later. Here, yes,
So, so what is 632 which you read? Is 632 billion?
you,
Yes, but what is the 632 billion that you read?
he is correcting the figure that he was misread, which is tampered with or obstructed by the stamp. The under collection was on account of a court order issued Vide High Court miscellaneous application number 133 of 23, Bullion Refinery Limited, Anish Trading Limited, and Metal Testing and Smelting Company Limited versus the Attorney General and URA, restraining URA from enforcing collection of export levy on processed gold pending disposal of the main source. Purity levels for gold exports. Section 8 of the Mining and Minerals Act 22 defines the minerals processing to include procedures such as dry and wet crushing, leaching, grinding, and separation of minerals and other products containing minerals to raise the concentration of the substance mined, and includes beneficiation. Whereas the above definition is broad, it neither specifies the purity levels for gold nor the extent of processing required for gold exports. Thus, the provision gives the gold and other mineral exporters wide discretion to categorize any mineral as processed and thereby export the mineral at less tax, since the definition of mineral processing permits exportation of any mineral as processed where the mineral has undergone any of the processes mentioned in the provision above. Section 157 of the Mining and Minerals Act 22 empowers the Minister of Energy and Ministry of Mineral Development to issue a statutory instrument specifying the permissible purity levels for processed gold for export. URA requested the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development to intervene by issuing the same. However, to this date, no statutory instrument has been issued to guide on the purity levels of gold for export purposes. The purpose, and in relation to the above. Furthermore, and in relation to the above, URA received a letter from MS Arcadia Advocates, acting on behalf of a whistleblower, dated August 3rd, 23, wherein a whistleblower raised a concern about 3 gold exporting companies operating under the manufacture under bond arrangement that exported unprocessed gold during the financial year 21-23 to 23. This is due to the fact that the law does not specify the purity levels of gold for export. Copy of the letter is attached here too for your ease of reference. Therefore, in absence of guidelines to determine the purity levels of gold for export in accordance with Section 157 of the Mining and Minerals Act 22, URA is constrained to take any action against the 3 gold exporting companies. K. Lapse of the regulations. The Mining and Minerals Export Levy and Refined Gold Regulations 23 were valid for a period of 1st July 21 to 30th June 23. Therefore, URA has no legal basis for the imposition of a rate on the exportation of gold until the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development issues another statutory instrument prescribing the rates applicable to the exportation of gold. The purpose of this letter, therefore, is to draw your attention to the above challenges encountered in revenue collection from gold exports and to seek your intervention in ensuring that URA obtains a sustainable solution to the above matter. Developing Uganda together. With who? With this minister, John R. Musinguzi. Commissioner General. Okay. We have another letter to the Commissioner General, Uganda Revenue Authority, I think signed by the Honorable Minister Okasai. We note your recommendation for the stay of application of the Mining Amendment Act 21 following the concerns raised by the industry players about the imposition of levy of 5% per kilogram of processed gold and 10% of the value of unprocessed minerals. We also note your assessment that points to the untenability of the foregoing tax regime, particularly given that it is not based on research and is not a significant departure from the proposal of USD 200 per kilogram for the processed gold and 1% on the value of unprocessed minerals, which we submitted to Parliament following detailed analysis and consensus with stakeholders. We sought advice from the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, who advised that we cannot stay application of the law. The solution is to expeditiously amend it with 1st July 21 as the commencement date. In the meantime, you may enter into an agreement with the exporters to export their gold without payment of the levy until amendment of the law, which is intended to have retrospective application. They will then pay as per the amended law, which should be consistent with the earlier agreed rates of $200 per kilogram for the processed gold and 1% of the value of unprocessed gold. Honorable Sibambi, you with us? Why I read this? Because of the issues that you kept raising. There are more letters, by the way, provided to us by URA. The one referred to by Commissioner General as emanating from Ministry of Energy, the one of 7th March 2023 is here. To Commissioner General URA, the purpose of this letter, therefore, is to request that URA holds the implementation of the statutory instrument until further guidance is provided. And the reference was in relation to the regulations whose purpose is to collect arrears of outstanding export levy on exported gold from financial year 21-23. Why we insisted on having the Minister of Energy? One is because on the face of it, you caused us this loss. I can't collect this money because you have not done your work. So before I even go into this one which Honorable Sibambi marked already, please just tell us why it would take you all this time, why it would take another minister pleading with you to issue regulations that you're required to. First, it has an effect on your NTR. Two, you're causing us a loss through guided fraud because the exporters exploit your loopholes. You know the loopholes. Three, there is possibility of a legal challenge because when you say people can export, then you give them the rate later. Is there a provision in the Constitution to the effect that you cannot tax without law? That's what Mr. Kagwa told me. Without law, you can't tax. That's why you are not taxing. Honorable Minister. And besides, even after issuing the regulation, without assigning a reason, you write a letter and say, halt implementation, collection, until further guidance. And no, even the further guidance is not there. Please tell us.
Thank you, Chair. I've listened to the various letters that you have read. And this act shall come into force on the date of publication in the Gazette, except for section 287(2), relating to levies payable for exports of minerals, which shall be deemed to have come into force on the first day of July 2021. And we went by this. Honorable Chair, we actually issued statutory instruments. There are two statutory instruments that we have issued. Statutory instrument number 1 was issued and expired on 31st June 2023.
That's number 1 of what?
Of the exports of minerals.
It is number 1,
2022.
expired when?
31st June 2023.
What was the purpose of this statutory instrument?
It was allowing for retrospective collection of levies.
And when it expires, what is the effect?
When it expired, we issued another instrument.
When?
24th May 2024.
What was its purpose?
Its purpose was collection of levies for the export of
That is issued after how many months?
It was issued after
Those are 11 months.
11 months, yes.
And during that, the absence of another statutory instrument, what happens? Would you collect money?
That time, we were actually consulting with Cabinet to make a final.
During this time, was Uganda losing?
Now, when the first instrument, which allowed retrospective charging, expired, that time there were no taxes collected. Until now, finally, we came with...
Before you finally come up with no taxes collected, so that is what explains the money. What is the difference between 10.6 and the 5.88? About 5 billion.
I don't have a benefit of getting those
Chairman, some clarification.
No. The figures, they are in your letters. The figures, I have read them out. We are reading them out together.
It's actually with the Uganda revenue.
But now you agree that between 31st June 23 and 24th May 24, there were no collections. Is that correct?
We couldn't collect the revenue without a regulation.
That's correct.
Yes,
And the making of the regulation was your responsibility.
it was.
And you defaulted on that.
We were consulting.
You defaulted. Did you make the regulations? You are the one who made the first regulations that expired, Honorable Minister. Correct? And you know that they were expiring. And this is your docket 24/7. So, who takes responsibility for that loss?
while we're consulting,
Who takes responsibility for that loss? We are now dealing with figures and loss.
there's now government.
No. Which government? Honorable Minister. Okay. Honorable Minister, let me put it the other way because now I want to take your line. You're senior to me. Government takes responsibility, right?
The consultation.
Does President Museveni take responsibility for that loss? The head of government?
The responsibility was the ministry, but we're still consulting with cabinet.
The law does not say the ministry to make regulations. The minister makes regulations.
It is
Were you a minister at that time?
I was.
Good. Did you make the regulations in time?
I was still consulting with cabinet.
Did you know that the instrument number 1 of 2022 would expire on the date you set it to expire?
I was aware.
Why did it take you why did you have to consult after the expiry?
Honestly, this was a long process. I must give you the background to this.
Was it also within your power to make remedial interim measures? For example, making another instrument pending your consultations.
Yes, it was within my power, but
Did you exercise that power?
no.
By the failure to exercise that power, did we lose as a country?
With the figures which are being presented, there was a loss.
Did you make consultations before enacting statutory instrument number 1 of 2022? This one which expired. Did you consult before making it?
We did.
Wouldn't those consultations guide you in implementing interim measures by way of another instrument?
I really think that loss can be made good of, because we had a retrospective provision in the...
Which expired.
When you read the law, it's still...
Honorable Minister, how many pages is the statutory instrument number 1 of 2022?
The commissioner will help me.
Please help him.
It was 1 page.
1 page. And then the next instrument, how many pages?
It is 2 pages.
So for 2 pages, we have to lose this revenue. Just consulting on 2 pages. After making the first one, it takes you 11 months doing consultations to come up with another instrument.
There was a disagreement among even the exporters of gold,
Yes?
which actually delayed coming up with a statutory instrument to collect this.
Was it within your powers to suspend the exportation of gold pending? Was it within your power? Have Ugandans ever agreed to pay a particular tax? That this one will be a referendum on the tax?
I don't have any information on that.
Yes. You're a minister.
Yes.
Do you envisage a situation where by a referendum Ugandans will agree to pay a particular tax? This one we are comfortable.
I don't envisage it.
So, but for these ones, these gold exporters, because you disagreed with them on the tax or the rate, you would accommodate them for 11 months pending. Okay, let's know what changed in the rates between the 2 instruments.
The first one was talking about a percentage.
Yes.
The second one is talking specifically on a figure which we charge per kilogram.
Good.
Yes.
So, because of the difference between figure and percentage, and and the figure is $200, right?
Yes.
That is the disagreement. One, that stopped you from doing consultations and enacting a regulation before this one expires. That is the same figure that caused a delay of 11 months, causing us this loss. Question before I call upon my colleagues to ask you questions. Who is responsible for this loss? And don't tell me government, because then you'll be shifting the blame on me also. I made the law, gave you the power to come up with regulations. Is it President Museveni who is responsible for this loss?
You don't want to add the answer of government?
No, because it doesn't make sense. The government gave you the power. Exercise it and bring me revenue. Give it to Mr. Musinguzi, he will bring us money. He's writing, pleading with you. Honorable Minister Okasai is pleading with you. Please give me this instrument, I bring you money. You refused the money. Did you receive this money anywhere?
Under what law would I receive the money?
Under the non-existing law.
So I didn't receive the money.
You did not, absolutely. You did not receive the money. We did not receive the money. Therefore, there is a loss. Who takes responsibility for this loss?
If I was to answer that,
No, you are to answer it.
I'm going to answer it. People of Uganda.
Are responsible. What is our role as the people?
Consultation.
No. We, the people of Uganda. What is our role in this loss? In appointing a minister?
Mr. Chairman,
No? Let him first
did the
answer.
minister prove that he was consulting you?
No. What was our role as Ugandans in coming up with this? In failing to come up with this law?
Who is government in Uganda? All of us are government.
That's the point in electing a bad government.
That's why I asked
Why
him.
now?
This is not about election.
You're right, okay, to say Ugandans are to blame.
This is not
Yes.
about election.
Then where do we get involved?
This is not about election.
I will guide that Honorable Swambi do not answer the question for the minister. He is very competent, at least to answer the question. So, Honorable Minister, you agree that Ugandans gave you the power to make the regulation, correct?
I agree.
Did you exercise it?
You don't do it unilaterally.
Did you
have got-
exercise the power?
I was consulting.
Who did you consult? Let's have a list. We want to know those people that aided and abetted this failure. Who did you consult with?
This cabinet. Yes, I didn't come to consult
Is
you.
the Honorable Minister Okasai a member of that cabinet?
Yes.
Did you consult him?
Can we have, if he's a member of cabinet and
Okay.
the cabinet paper was
Mr.
presented,
Let me ask before you come in, let me ask the Honorable Minister to take oath. Please administer oath.
they ask what's the essence of an oath?
To confirm that, yes, you may ask, you have that liberty. To
Yes.
confirm that everything you're going to tell us is the truth and nothing but the truth. And that deviation
On
from
the basis of asking
Honorable Minister, you wanted guidance from us. I'm guiding you.
the,
Not at liberty.
you can arrest me.
Honorable members, please.
For what? What crime?
Honorable Minister, do you still want my guidance on the purpose of the oath?
Yes.
Good. Would you retract your statement that you will decline before even you get the guidance?
When you threaten with
I have not
giving me the
threatened you. You
are
asked
saying
me.
you are going to arrest me.
Who said me?
You are members.
Did I say? That's why I told them no. You are under my protection. Purpose of the oath. Listen, oath is a confirmation that you are going to tell us. Can we have order? Honorable Kwizera, shall we have order? Honorable Kaya, The purpose of the oath, Honorable Minister, and you're a member of Parliament, you know, it's in your rules, is to confirm that you're going to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Please administer oath. Honorable members, please stay calm. The Honorable Minister is our own. He's entitled, 1, to fair process, 2, protection, 3, respect. Clerk? It depends on how you respect your God.
I'm taking an oath for God. Yes. I, Okasai, swear by the Almighty God that the evidence I shall give touching the matter before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.